Hey, what up, everybody? This is Norman Woods, fresh out of the streets, and I was actually filming a line today. And when I got done with the trick and was looking at the footage, I decided I should do a video on backside tail slides. So that's what we're gonna do. Let's get into it. I want to thank my patrons. If you guys are interested in getting some video conferencing lessons with me one-on-one, you could join the highest tier of my Patreon. There's also other perks below that, so check it out. I'll link it below. Let's get into the backside tail slides. First thing is, of course, you should be able to ollie, and you should be able to do backside 50-50s and backside 180s before you do this trick. I've done a video on backside 50-50s. I haven't done backside 180s, but I have done backside flips, and I've done backside 360s. And in that video, I go over back 180s a little bit. So learn those tricks, and now you want to do a backside tail slide. I'm going to advise everyone to learn this on a curb because the higher the obstacle, the more awkward it's going to feel. The biggest problem that I had when I was trying backtails in the beginning was just trying to get my weight over the ledge so that I could catch my tail on top of it. So what I'd advise you to do is start with practicing your backside 50-50s and then even learning backside 5-0s, because what I did to learn these was actually ollie into a backside 5-0 and just slightly start to pivot until I got into the back tail. And that worked to get me comfortable enough to get up onto the backside tail slide on a little curb, but I wasn't able to actually slide it this way because you're ollieing in awkwardly and you're not set up so that you can maintain your weight over the tail, allowing it to slide. So once you get comfortable by just rolling up to your curb or whatever little tiny ledge you're trying to learn this on and ollieing into backside 5-0s and just slightly being more and more sideways, meaning with your nose facing out away from the ledge more and more until you can actually land in a back tail. Once you get comfortable with that, then you're going to start trying the trick proper. And the setup for this trick is pretty simple. You're going to have your feet a little closer together than with other tricks because I found that this just helps me when I'm trying to slide a back tail. And also later when you're trying to flip out, having your back foot in the center of the board makes it easier to flip out. So you're going to have your back foot in that ollie box, which I've talked about time and time again in my videos. It's definitely in my ollie video, in my pop shove it videos. I'll link those down below. So back foot's in the ollie box. You're rolling parallel to the ledge, or in the case of a beginner, a curb, like we said earlier. Your front foot is in the center of the board, and your entire front foot is going to be making contact with the board. That's very important. On the back foot, only your toes and the ball of your foot are going to be making contact with the tail. But your front foot, the entire foot's going to make contact with your board. Your shoulders are going to be right over your board, and you're going to be parallel with that ledge or curb like we said earlier. And so what we're going to do is, before popping, you're going to start to crouch, and you're going to wind your shoulders in the towards the ledge just a little bit. Not like a full back 180, but just a little bit. And once you start to wind back, similar to big spin and 360 tricks, as you're winding your shoulders back towards your board, you're going to begin to crouch. Now, once you've reached the lowest point of your crouch, and you want to stay pretty low when you're doing this on a low obstacle because that makes it easier for you to balance once you get on. And that's also going to make it so that your legs aren't straight once you land on the ledge. Because if you land on a ledge with your legs completely straight, you have no leverage. And balance is kind of like pop, where you need to have some type of leverage in order to have balance, just like you do to pop high. Once you've started to wind your shoulders back and you bent your knees as low as you can, you're going to pop your tail. And you're going to give your tail a little bit of a pull towards the backside, like you're going to back 180, kind of the opposite to a scoop, what you do with the pop shove it, except you're not taking your back foot off the board. So you're giving it that kind of pulling motion with the back foot, and you're winding your shoulders now away from the curb or ledge. And you want to pop hard enough that you can get just over the ledge, not too high so that when you land on it, you're going to smack the ledge and you're just going to stick, but just high enough that you clear it, because that's what makes it so scary for us, is thinking about clearing the ledge. And then once you make contact with the ledge with your back foot, you want to keep your weight over your toes. So make sure that your toes are still what's on the tail. And then you're going to keep your knees nicely bent. And you want your shoulders to kind of be parallel to the ledge while you're sliding. Because like I said in my front board video and in other videos where there's slides involved, having your shoulders parallel is going to make it so that you're balanced, and so that when you want to come out, you just kind of nudge your shoulders a little bit and your legs will follow, and it'll kind of pull you out. So the thing about sliding this is that you're going to have to crouch, and the lower you crouch, just like in the nose slide video, the easier it is to hold the back tail for longer. But in the beginning, you're not going to be able to slide them very long. You're going to be sliding an inch or two, and then you're going to work your way up to sliding 6 inches to a foot. And then you can tackle like the long slides. And that's kind of a topic for another video, because that involves a lot. Not only do you have to be very consistent at getting into your back tails, you also have to be looking at the right point, which brings me to the next thing I want to talk about. Where should you be looking when you're popping onto your back tail? Now, I tend to look at my feet when I pop for just about every trick. But as soon as I've popped, I'm looking right at the ledge, and I'm looking kind of over my shoulder so that I can see where I'm sliding. That just helps me, looking over my shoulder. Sometimes I'll catch myself looking at my feet, but that happens more with like flips into back tails. If I do a kickflip back tail, I'm looking at my feet the whole time, because I need to know when to apply that pressure in anticipation of the ledge being there. So once you've gotten into your back tail, you're ready to come out. If you're coming out back to regular, remember your shoulders are parallel with the ledge. So you're just gonna kind of turn your shoulders in the front side rotation, so like the front side direction, kind of behind you, and then your legs are gonna follow that out. And it's very simple. Once you get that down, you're gonna start to pop out of it. So that means you're going to be crouched while you're sliding, and then when you're ready to come out, you're going to dip the nose down a little bit and just pop out. Like I talked about in my nose slide video about how you pop out of nose slides. It's the same motion, except this should be a little easier because you're popping off of the tail, which we're all used to. Now, if you're doing the back tail to fakie, you're going to want to turn your shoulders in the direction for fakie. So you're going to want to turn your shoulders backside, and then your bottom half should also follow. It should be very simple. And in fact, if you're doing like a shorter slide, sometimes back tail to fakies are easier. Don't ask me why, it just works that way sometimes. Also, another little tip, nollie back tails. They're really easy if you can get the timing down. Sliding them longer becomes more difficult, but if you're just trying to do a quick nollie back tail, very easy to balance as long as you have the timing. So let's go over the trick again. Let's recap everything we talked about. So back foot is in the Ollie box. Only your toes and the ball of your foot are making contact with the tail. Your front foot is halfway up the board. So like right in the middle, couple inches away from the bolts for the nose of your board. All right, as you're riding up, you're going to wind your shoulders the opposite way that you're going to turn. So you're going to wind your shoulders front side just a little bit. So like not even 45 degrees, you know, so whatever degree less than 45, you want to wind your shoulders. And then once you start to wind your shoulders back towards your board, you're going to crouch. Once you've reached the lowest point of your crouch, you're going to pop, and you're going to pull with your back foot. So kind of like you're digging into the ground, that kind of motion, the same one you use for a pop shove it. You're also going to be turning your shoulders backside so that your board follows your shoulders and rotates. And you're going to be anticipating the tail hitting the ledge. Now, if you can, which in the beginning you might not be able to, you want to be looking sort of over your shoulder or looking down at the ledge underneath you. So sometimes you're going to look over your shoulder, sometimes you're going to look down at the ground underneath you. And then once you've gotten onto the ledge, you're going to maintain your crouch. And when you're ready to come out, you're going to either rotate your shoulders slightly front side again so that your feet follow and you turn out front side, or you're going to rotate your shoulders backside so that you can turn out to fakie and you're going to follow through with your legs. And then when you want to pop out, you're going to, before rotating your shoulders, let the nose of the board dip down a little bit below the ledge, then rotate your shoulders and pop a little ollie out. And yet, back tail slides, really fun trick. Make sure that whatever surface you're sliding is nicely waxed, because these do tend to stick since it's such an awkward thing. And try to make sure that you're looking at your feet and the ledge, because when you're not looking, it just makes it seem so difficult to do this trick. But once you have everything in focus, it gets a little bit easier. That's all I have for backside tail slides. Like I said, if you guys want a video about how to slide things really long, I'll make a separate video about that and how it works with multiple different tricks. Frontside tail slides, which I haven't even done a tutorial on. This was just fresh in my mind because I was out skating street today and I was like, I should make that video. But yeah, no slides, frontside no slides, all that stuff. So yeah, if this video helped you out, like and subscribe, hit the notification bell because I got a lot of videos coming out. Feel free to join my Patreon. It would definitely help me out, help me be able to make more videos like this more consistently. And yeah, enjoy skateboarding and the rest of your summer. Peace.